Thank you for coming this afternoon. We want to announce, of course, the formulation of the new Select Committee on the Smart Grid, and we want to announce the first hearing of this committee, very timely hearing on April 26th here in the state capitol. And the purpose of the hearing is to discuss the defects in the smart meter technology itself. And as you know, unfortunately, we didn't hear this from PG&E. We heard it from a news source that PG&E has admitted to defects in its current smart meter technology. We've been asking that question for 5 months. We've waited for a straight answer, and it's clear to us that the committee needs to focus in on one thing, and that is allowing PG&E the opportunity to come clean, to give us the true facts of smart meter technology, to tell customers why their bills continue to rise, to tell customers why the only fix to fixing a smart meter is to replace an old smart meter with a new one. And more importantly, I think the goal is to find out why PG&E continues to estimate bills. And if you think about this, customers out there, many of which are getting their bills, aren't even aware that their bills have been estimated. They're not even aware that there's defects possibly in their own meter. They have no idea that PG&E, in many cases, isn't getting the data it should, data that we've spent billions of dollars on. And I think the key to it is to make sure that with so much ratepayer money at stake, with billions of dollars being put into this particular system, the fact that PG&E has not yet got it right calls for a pause in the program, calls for the smart meter technology from PG&E to be put on hold until we'll get a report from the independent evaluator, which was finally approved by the PUC. And I think the goal of this particular hearing, to be very specific, there are so many issues with smart meters, are the following. We want to know how many bills have been estimated. We want to make sure that customers were aware that their bills have been estimated. We want to make sure that customers were aware that there are defects in the current smart meter technology. We want to make sure that customers recognize that defects can occur, that this type of testing should have been done in the first place, and that we share openly in an open forum with the public the actual state of affairs when it comes to smart meter technology. And I can tell you that we are not going to be satisfied with sending junior level representatives of PG&E to this particular hearing in Sacramento. We would like to hear from Mr. Darby himself. We would like to hear from those executives who have made this decision to move in this direction. And we find it absolutely unacceptable, with billions of dollars invested in this system, that today we are finding out from press reports, not from PG&E, not in their biannual reports in terms of how the technology is going as mandated by the PUC, but we're finding out by undisclosed press sources that PG&E is admitting now to defects in its system. I think the goal of this is to make sure, big picture with these defects, that we recognize has larger effects for the grid itself, whether it's security flaws, whether it's cyber attacks, whether it's the ability of others to tap into their own data. These are the larger questions we will discuss, but I think the most important question at the hearing is the following, and that is, when did PG&E know these defects were in their system? Why are we just finding out about it now? And why they continue to put on smart meters every single day in this state when they know that there are problems in this particular technology at this point in time. So that's the goal of it. I take any questions you guys have.
Has PG&E said that they're going to attend the hearing?
You know, PG&E continues to send in lower level intermediaries to our office to discuss having a dialogue in private. We're very interested in having a dialogue in public. We're very interested in hearing from Mr. Darby himself. We have had an opportunity to talk to Mr. Peavy in a public forum. I think Mr. Darby, being regulated by the PUC, should be not immune to that type of discussion here in the state capitol. And we'd like to see him. We'd like to make sure that Mr. Darby knows, for someone who makes $9 million based on the money that ratepayers are paying into his system, that he owes it to the public to come to Sacramento, to bring his top people, to go through this particular flaw, this defect, and to basically tell us one thing, and that is, how many of these have they discovered that are actually defective? We shouldn't have to piece this together. He is the president of the company. He knows exactly how many smart meters are defective. And if he doesn't know, then I think his investors should think twice about what they pay him, what in effect, how much control he actually has over his company, because this is a billion-dollar experiment. And I think at the end of the day, it's something that we'd like to hear from Mr. Darby himself.
Are
Okay.
you going to call PUC up again and ask them again?
Absolutely. We're gonna ask the PUC to come up. We're gonna ask the ratepayer advocates to come up, and we're gonna get a whole picture of ultimately where they stand on this particular issue as it stands at this point in time. Okay. All right. Thank you guys. Okay.